Hello everyone, it's Caitlin and welcome to another video. Before I begin with the topic of this video, I need to give my backstory. This is another chat with Caitlin, so I'm just going to be talking about my life. If that interests you, stay tuned. If it doesn't, I'll see you in the next video. But I've been trying to do drinks with the chats with Caitlin thing, and I just got back from a work trip. I'm filming this video the afternoon before you guys are going to see it, if you're seeing it the first day it's published. So it's been a very hectic day. I was just on a work trip in California and I just got home probably about like 30 minutes ago. It's just been a weird day of food for me. I had like a kale and quinoa bowl for breakfast. Then I had an energy bar when I got off my plane. And did I have anything else? No, I think that's it. Oh, I had coffee, maybe too much coffee. And I don't really have anything in my fridge right now because I just got home. So I decided to make myself a smoothie. I've actually really been enjoying this smoothie. It's like a peaches and cream smoothie. So I just checked some of this unflavored protein powder that I've actually really been liking lately, with a fair amount of cinnamon and some almond milk. And then I also added in some chia seeds and a frozen peach that I chopped up and stuck in my freezer ahead of time. The smoothie isn't too sweet, but I kind of like it. It's just like slightly sweet and creamy. Then I started to blend it, but then I realized that, I don't know, I just wanted more greens, and I did have greens in my fridge, so I took some salad greens out and stuffed those in there, blended that up till it was nice and smooth and creamy, and then poured it into a glass, stuck a straw in it, and called it a day. And I was actually impressed. I made like the perfect amount almost for the glass, but don't worry, I still scraped the insides out with a spatula. Actually, I realized I scraped the insides out before I added my straw, but I added my straw, and then I went upstairs to film this video. But obviously, anyone who films those exiting scenes is a liar, because if you take the camera with you. Anyways, now here I am with my smoothie. If you're actually curious for the ingredients, I'll link it, or I'll write it out in the description below. Oh, I also ate some vegan cider bread. Anyways, okay. I'm avoiding the topic of this video because I don't really want to talk about it, but in the spirit of being raw and vulnerable with you guys, and just like with my life in general right now, I'm going to talk about it anyways. I hope I don't cry. Honestly, I've put myself through a lot this year, and well, maybe like the last 2 or 3 years of my life. I work a lot. There's nothing wrong with that. And I also want to say, I'm not making this video to complain about my job. Obviously, I have a very nice life. I live comfortably. I'm able to support myself. But even people who are more well off, such as myself, go through mental problems or struggles. So I'm just trying to share my struggle. I'm not like asking for pity or sympathy or honestly even advice. I'm just trying to be real with you guys and kind of like describe what's been going on with my life for the last year or so. If you watch my videos and are kind of familiar with my personality, you already know that I'm a very productive person, a borderline workaholic, no, actually an actual workaholic. And sometimes it's hard for me to separate my work life from my real life because they are so intertwined, like especially with my YouTube channel and I think a lot of social media people in general. And I kind of struggled with that for a while. But work is also really fun for me. So I also like to work. So I don't know. And then on a deeper level, I've talked with my friend Hannah McNeely about this. She's on YouTube too. I definitely associate my self-worth with my productivity. So I feel like if I'm not working or not doing something like for someone else or cleaning or I don't know, just like getting ahead on work, I feel like I'm not valuable as a person. And obviously that is flawed. And I am trying to work through that and work around it. But it is what it is, and I have to accept where I'm at while trying to change it. And I definitely don't really let myself relax and slow down. I've gotten better since I started dating my boyfriend because he is not a workaholic and he understands how to actually have a social life. So that's been really, really helpful for me. But it's something that I definitely still struggle with. And also because I always feel like I need to be doing more. So like I post 2 recipes a week on my blog. I post almost every day on Instagram. I try to post 2 YouTube videos a week. And even when I do that and I like get a month ahead on my schedule, I'm like, well, if I can do that, I can add this on too. Or it's like, I see this person doing this, so I should do that too, even though they might not be doing the other things that I'm doing. I always am pushing myself, and I think that is a good thing to a limit, because it has helped me get as far as I've gotten in life. It helped me do really well in school. It's helped me build this platform in my career. But at the same point, I needed to stop and like realize when I actually have a limit. And I think I was just kind of honestly like just testing myself, seeing how far I could really push myself before I would find my limit. But I definitely found my limit this year. I announced it on Instagram, but in addition to doing all of this normal content, I signed a contract to write a cookbook, which I am so excited about and so excited to share more details with you guys soon. And there's nothing inherently wrong with me writing a cookbook. It's actually really exciting. What was wrong was the fact that I told myself when I was going to write the cookbook, I knew it was a full-time job in and of itself, because I was making all the recipes, writing all of the book stuff, and taking all the pictures and editing all of them, etc. All me, which I wanted to do. I knew that that was a full-time job, and that I told myself I was going to scale back on doing things on social media. But the thing is, as you can probably see, I didn't really allow myself to take a break, and instead of scaling down a little to work on my cookbook, I just decided to sleep less, have less free time, be more stressed out, and kind of honestly let my self-care routine like completely, excuse my language, fall to shit. Like, I used to be so good at taking care of myself. Like, even though I did work a lot, I feel like my self-care routine was strong enough where I was able to balance that out almost. Like, I felt really empowered and happy doing what I was doing, but obviously I've had a lot of big life changes. I used to live with Jasmine and Chris, and then my roommates, my old roommates, and then I decided to buy a house purely for financial investment reasons. And just moving takes a lot out of you. It's also costs a lot of money, but worth it in the end. And like, I entered a relationship within the last year, and then my partner moved in with me, which again is not wrong in and of itself, but it's just a big emotional adjustment to go from kind of being a very independent introvert to cohabitating with someone else. And you know, our relationship is fine, but we're both still like trying to navigate the things we need to do together, as well as figuring out how to be our own persons aside from each other. So on top of giving myself 2 full-time jobs, I guess I just decided to put myself through like all of these emotional things as well. And I think I really don't know why I did it. Like, in retrospect, I'm like, that sounds insane, because it is insane. And I don't know, I'm gonna have to do some more thinking about why I've done that. But in the action of doing that, I definitely like let myself go. Obviously, I've still been like eating healthy food. You guys see what I eat on here, and that's definitely not the be all end all to health and wellness. But I definitely don't sleep as much as I used to. I don't relax as much as I used to because I work so much. And because of that, I definitely feel exhausted, and I don't know, I just like felt like for a really long time, I didn't even allow myself to have fun or have hobbies anymore. And I don't know, I guess, I don't really know why I'm telling you guys this. I think I just want to like explain kind of what's been going on, because I think because of this, like, I haven't really been able to feel very like grounded or centered recently, and that has affected my self-care routine, which has in turn affected definitely like my mental stability and my self-confidence, and I think like my overall assuredness in myself. Which makes sense. I've mentioned this before. There's a thing called Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where it's like a basic pyramid, and at the bottom's your basic needs like food, shelter, warmth, like rest, relationships, and then at the top's like intellectual enlightenment. And if I haven't been sleeping, I can't expect myself to be all calm and zen all the time, you know? Kind of just makes sense. So, on top of that, I don't really want to get into this too much, but I've had some other like health issues which have affected me over the last few years. And they're more like hormonal related. So because of that, okay, before anyone says anything, it's my right to not tell you, because it's just not something I'm ready to share yet. But I had these issues before I went vegan, and I have successfully solved the issues while maintaining a vegan diet. And I'm currently in like the final stages of like coming back to normal. So before anyone says anything or assumes anything, and also, why do we even need to assume something? It's just something I want to keep private. Anyways, rant aside. That took a huge emotional toll on me too, because it was something that I wasn't ready to share with a lot of people. My boyfriend knows, my mom knows, my best friend knows. But other than that, I haven't really talked to a lot of other people about it. Maybe one day I'll talk about it. Maybe one day I won't. I'm not really sure yet. But all that happened, and then in the middle of writing my cookbook, I realized, I was like, what have I done to myself? I am so exhausted. I just feel so tired. And also just realizing, like, you guys have left comments too. They're like, you look tired. You look really stressed out. And it would really upset me, because I think I didn't want to admit it, because I wanted to be a person who was good enough to be able to be some inhuman superwoman who was able to accomplish all of these impossible tasks. But like deep down, I knew that I was tired and that I wasn't feeling good, and that I definitely wasn't feeling like my best self. Not necessarily like health-wise, like my body is like on a grand scheme of things functioning fine. But it's hard to describe. I just don't feel my best. I'm definitely not at my best right now. And that's really hard for me to admit, because I'm always a person who has pushed myself to like be as good as I could possibly be. Because if not, like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm not worth anything. Damn it. Okay. But, so I submitted my cookbook manuscript. There's still a lot of work to do on it, which is fine, but it's like more me working with other people. And I told myself that when I did that, I was going to sort of take a step back from working so much and like do things that I enjoy, sort of try to find the balance again and establish a self-care routine and be kinder to myself and like rebuild my like self-confidence and just like general acceptance of myself and my person, like, and my body and like my work in general, I guess. So kind of in that stage now, but it's been really hard. And also a psychology thing. There's like, oh, this is focused on my face. If not, oh well, you don't need to see me cry. There's this thing called a stress response curve. I don't know if you guys have learned about it in psychology. Well, I'll give the example of like college students, for example. A lot of them get sick the week after final exams, and it's because your body registers mental stress and physical stress is like the same thing, and it still takes a toll on your immune system. And basically, your body is in overdrive when you're stressed out because your fight or flight system is activated, which, you know, in like ye olden days was used to run away from predators and fight tigers, or someone was trying to kill you because you slept with another caveman's girlfriend. I don't know. But basically, your body is in overdrive and putting all of its efforts to like keeping you healthy and safe and like running your mind during the stressful period. But then after the stress ends, it's like okay, I'm doing okay. I'm not doing okay anymore. And I think that's like kind of where I'm at, because I've been stressing myself out so much. I feel like sometimes I don't even realize I'm stressed. Like, sometimes I take a deep breath and unclench my jaw and then realize I've been clenching it for hours. And that's actually a pretty common problem. So if you're listening to this, see if you're clenching your jaw right now. But I think like after I submitted the manuscript and told myself, like allowed myself to actually feel and take time off, I just honestly been hit by an emotional roller coaster. And I'm a pretty emotional person to begin with. Like, honestly, I cry a lot more than the average person for things that make me happy and things that make me sad. It's just who I am. I'm a Cancer. That may have something to do with it. But like over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I have been crying at like the littlest things that don't even make sense. And then it upsets me more that I'm crying. So then I cry even more. And it's just like, sometimes I'm just sitting there and then all of a sudden I start crying and I don't know why. Obviously I have some psychological turmoil that I need to figure out. But it's been very frustrating for me. And it's just like a lot to work through, I guess. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, I realize that I am not at my best, and I am trying to be better and to get back to like that routine. And I mean, at the end of the day, this was going to happen. I was eventually going to hit a wall. I was working myself to death. And it happens with all humans though, you know, like we can't all be perfect all the time. The only constant in life is change, and our bodies are always changing, our minds are always changing, our thoughts are always changing, the world around us is constantly changing, and we have to learn to accept where we're at and work towards being good again. Like, a tree only has leaves for 3-ish seasons out of the year. They fall off and then they grow new ones. There's a tree outside my window that I'm looking at right now. That's where I got that analogy from. But I guess this is just me saying I realize that I'm not at my best, and I'm really committing to taking a step back and doing some of that deep diving stuff and trying to make myself better again, more like emotionally and with my overall well-being. And to be honest, it kind of sucks because I hate being emotional. Obviously, I've been avoiding feeling certain feelings for a reason, and it's not fun to have to go through the shitty stuff and figure it all out. Especially when you've been overworking yourself for like years. I probably have years of shitty stuff that I need to work through and figure out. But yeah, I don't know. I thought of seeing a therapist. I should probably see a therapist. But yeah, I keep telling myself I don't have time. But, you know, mental health is really important, and I think I could use outside help, just because, you know, it's nice to have someone else to talk to, and that way I'm not rambling all of my problems to you guys. But yeah, so this is me going on the record saying that, yeah, you guys who were leaving comments, though they did hurt my self-esteem, were right. I am really tired. I do have acne, but it's because I overworked myself and I was going through some hormone-related health issues that are now getting better, but now I just have to deal with this and it will gradually go away. And it's part of life, and I'm trying to be a better person. I mean, I always want to be trying to be a better person. I took a step back from work and I started yoga teacher training, which I kind of mentioned on Instagram. I didn't talk about too much. I've been wanting to do it for like, I don't know, at least 2 years, but the timing has never really worked out. But I finally did this time, and I'm sort of taking it because it still is like a lot of work. It's a 200-hour program, spread out over a few months, to sort of take a step back from work and analyze like what I'm doing, what I can maybe outsource, what I could be doing better, and what I don't need to be doing anymore. Because honestly, I'm just so tired of overworking myself, and thankfully I didn't crash and burn as badly as I maybe could have. But I still definitely feel exhausted, and I need to take some time to like figure some stuff out. And I don't know, I just kind of want to share that because everyone on social media is always talking about how their life's so great, and like I haven't really shared how I've been struggling, just because it's not something that's fun to talk about. It's not like I'm trying to hide it, but it's not something that I really enjoy sharing with people. But kind of just want to document it and be like, hey, if you guys thought I had a perfect life, you're wrong. I'm very human, just like everybody else. So that's the tea or the smoothie. I don't know, maybe I'll document my process of getting better and getting slightly better and then not getting better and then maybe getting a slightly bit better, more better after. But that's where I'm at now. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Honestly, I've been meaning to film this video for like 2 months now, and I kept putting it off. But I'm finally doing it, and I'm finally committing to it, and I'm excited to see myself grow. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.